Kanye West has often been hailed as a top 50 rapper of all time, sometimes reaching top 10 status depending on the publication of the list. Sometimes I feel like I must be missing something. Maybe what these lists are classifying as a rapper is different to my own understanding. Maybe I'm just wrong. Because I don't think Kanye is a top 50 rapper, and let alone anywhere close to a top 10. However, this video isn't a top 50 rappers list. I think that's been done a million times. But what I do want to break down is the artistry of Kanye West. With over 15 albums in a career spanning over 20 years, Kanye has so much to go through as a listener. But a sample size this large would, in theory, make it easier for me to come to a conclusion about what my opinions on Kanye West are. There is one aspect that is outstanding, one which we all love and hate talking about when it comes to Kanye West. And it's often the most common conversation when it comes to any conversation about Kanye. His personality. His public persona, his outrageousness and out-of-pocket comments, the multiple apologies, the seemingly unprofessional but very raw Kanye West that we all have witnessed over many years. Almost everyone has an opinion on Kanye. Older generations, people like my mom or older colleagues that you might have worked with, usually have an opinion on Kanye that's based around award show interruptions era of Kanye and the just, thinks he's too good for anything sort of idea that older generations might have. Younger generations like mine and probably yours often love the music but really struggle to handle what he often talks about and his views politically. There's a large portion of Kanye fans who preach the idea of let's separate the art from the artist. And as easy as it might sound, I don't think it is a simple task. Music is the greatest form of expression humans have ever created. It is an emotion driver. Creation of art and music itself stems from emotion. When you hear a song that makes you feel sad, or when you hear a song that gets you really hyped up before a workout, or maybe just a chill song that makes you feel relaxed while you have a nighttime drive. This is all emotions, driven by the music. Now, these emotional messages are best portrayed and excellently delivered by the best artists on the planet, right? When an artist can get a message across or a feeling across to their audience, that is what makes them a good artist, in my opinion. And every individual, like you or me, would feel every song in their own unique way, based on their own life or the context that they're listening to the song. And for me personally, Kanye does have a large portion of emotional driving songs. Songs like Roses off of Late Registration are songs that make me cry still to this day. I shed tears to Roses almost every time. Or the industrial songs off Yeezus that make your speakers sound like they're about to fall apart. They almost give you a feeling of violence. Like, oh, I just want to grab someone, you know what I mean? Like it brings that emotion of anger or out almost, or a driver into triumph maybe. Kanye makes good music that can deliver an emotion across a very wide range. And I'll get back to what musical qualities Kanye brings later in the video, but for now I want to just discuss some rappers that I think are good at rapping, I guess. I think I want to talk about and define what qualifies for me as a good rapper. Because this video isn't about what makes his music good, it's about whether Kanye is or isn't a good rapper. I categorize the qualities of a rapper into a few things. The ability to rhyme, their storytelling ability, the cadence or sound of their voice and how that complements the instrumental that they're rapping on, the flow, and finally, the simple art of enjoyability. If an artist is making enjoyable music or listenable music, I guess, that adds to it. If a rapper is rapping in a way where you don't go, what is he saying? I don't understand. And it doesn't have to necessarily always be, this guy was rapping about his hometown and I don't really understand what that is. It can also be, you know, this guy's rapping about a certain vulgarity that doesn't make sense in the context of this song or fit into the idea of this album. It's things like that. I could sit here and list a large amount of rappers that I think are better at rapping than Kanye, but I think that would be a boring video. It wouldn't bring anything to this conversation. It would just be a hate train of this guy's better and this guy's better and this guy's better and this guy's better. And those arguments are for TikTok. That's not for this. I will go through a small handful of examples, more to showcase what I find good qualities are in a rapper. Now, this isn't an argument to say whether or not these artists are better musicians overall. This is a focus on rapping through the qualities that I listed before. Let's have a quick look. Andre 3000 of Outkast. Andre is a genius without a doubt. When it comes to rhyme schemes, there aren't many rappers that can utilize multi-syllable rapping as well as Andre does. It's a hard thing to master and Andre seemingly does it with ease. He's by far one of the best storytellers, not just with the two-part The Art of Storytelling songs, but also with a song even as popular and as accessible as Miss Jackson, which tells a story about love, heartbreak, and the beauty of having children. For flow, I would honestly just recommend listening to the first minute of Bombs Over Baghdad. Rapping like that isn't something that probably most people you listen to would be able to do. And even though it's, you know, not my favorite Andre verses or anything on that song, but it is just pure, raw talent. Then we have Pusha T. Pusha T is the most comparable to Kanye for me because for a large portion of his solo career he was rapping almost exclusively on Kanye beats. He's also collaborated with Kanye on countless occasions. When you have two guys, Push and Ye, on the same song, on the same production, almost every time consistently, Pusha T out-raps Kanye West. Again though, let's focus on Pusha T himself. I think what he does best is his cadence. I think that he has a way of making you as a listener believe every word he's saying. The reason no one questions whether he did or didn't sell crack isn't because we know the facts, it's because he tells it in a way that is so believable and real that you'd be stupid to deny it and say, nah, he wouldn't have done that. Of course he did that. Listen to him. Listen to the way he tells you, I loaded up this bag with a brick of something or whatever. You'd think he'd run out of synonyms for crack cocaine after 20-something years of rapping about crack cocaine. But yet he still uses new terms and words on basically any song that you listen to. I mean, Chains and Whips won Best Rap Performance at the Grammys in 2026. And I think the only reason that Let God Sort 'Em Out didn't win Rap Album of the Year was because it was handed to Kendrick, the Grammy glutton. And finally, Nas. Nas has been doing this basically forever. Illmatic is the gold standard of what a perfect rap album looks like. So much to the point that it's used as its own terminology in rap conversations. When I say to somebody, what's this artist's Illmatic? I'm asking, what's their best album? What do you think their Illmatic is? It's a commonly used phrase now. It's essentially a colloquially acceptable term to discuss someone's greatest work. I could use it even talking about art forms that aren't music. I could say, what's Christopher Nolan's Illmatic? But the reason that I think of Nas when I think of best rappers isn't necessarily just because of Illmatic, it's because he had a 7-album run throughout the 2020s up to this point, and I don't think he released a bad album once. He released 6 albums in the first 3 years of the decade, and none of them were bad. Do you understand how hard that is? I don't understand how hard that is because I'm not an artist in the same way that Nas is an artist. But as a listener, if you go through 7 Kanye albums, or even other artists, 7 Future albums, or 7 Lil Uzi albums, you're gonna find a bad album. You're gonna be able to go, yep, this is the worst one by far. You listen to the Magic trilogy or the King's Disease trilogy, you're not gonna find a bad album. You're gonna go, well, they're all pretty good and then this one's my favorite. That's it. There is no bad when it comes to that 6-album run. I think lyrical ability and enjoyability are his greatest strengths. I think most people can put on a Nas song and go, yeah, that was pretty good. And I think that's the premise of enjoyability. I think it's accessible. I wish more people listened to Nas still, because he went from being on par with Jay-Z, whereas now if you go ask someone that you work with, you know, whether they know Nas, they're more likely to say no, compared to saying, oh, do you know who Jay-Z is? Yeah, of course I know Jay-Z, right? But I think Nas has always been at least on par, if not better than Jay-Z lyrically at all. And that is the real magic. So when it comes to rapping, Kanye has faults. Don't get me wrong, I think his bests are good enough, but I think rapping is the biggest weakness across pretty much all of his albums. When I was prepping for this video, I was planning on listening to every single Kanye album and rating every single individual song on a scale of good songs with good rapping, good songs that have bad rapping, and just plain bad songs. I got like 5 albums in before I realized I'm not gonna have enough time if I wanna write a note about every single individual song, because there are probably 200 or more songs to go through. I don't have time. I need to get this video out. But I've gotten over halfway within a week of just re-listening to Kanye albums. I believe that Kanye's rapping most notably takes a backseat on the more ambitious albums. I think albums like Graduation, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Life of Pablo are the more obvious ones to me, where because the idea and concept of the album is so grandiose, he focuses so much on the production and the features and the curation of an album that rapping isn't his priority, and that's why it's worse. And I know I'm gonna get some flack because My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is the best album of all time. It's just not. And I'm gonna stand on that, because even in his own discography, he has better albums than My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'm not gonna argue further than that. I'm just gonna go through some songs as quickly as I can from these albums to try and highlight what I'm talking about and support my ideas. On Graduation, I mean, Drunken Hot Girls is like one of the worst songs Kanye's ever put out. But even something like Stronger has abysmal lyrics that genuinely just lack any sort of substance whatsoever. And then, without looking at any specific lyric, I just detest the flow that he uses on Everything I Am. I think other than the flow, his lyrics aren't awful, the beat is great. It's just that flow is so choppy and forced and doesn't really work for me as a listener. I just can't get past it. On My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, Runaway is probably the most recognizable song aside from maybe Power. The first bars on the song are some dick pic email jargon that just adds nothing to what has already been a solid track in terms of production and choruses and vocalization. The instrumental's beautiful, the chorus is fine, Kanye raps some rubbish, and then Pusha T comes in and absolutely washes him out. Like, why do we have Kanye rapping at all, to be honest? Like, if Kanye didn't rap and just did some chorus work and the beat and the curation of the album itself, kind of like how Metro Boomin might release an album, where he's just the producer and it's still a Metro album, but he's not a rapper. He just picks his artists and he goes, you guys work on this beat that I made, so you can sit there and appreciate the beat and know it's Metro Boomin because it comes under Metro's Spotify or whatever. And you can appreciate good lyricism by actual rappers, not I'm the producer and I'm gonna pretend to be a good rapper even though my rapping is subpar. Monster is another example where almost every feature is miles ahead of anything Kanye does on that track, lyrically at least. Nicki's verse is infamously unreal. Jay-Z delivers probably a disappointing verse as far as Jay-Z standards go, but again, I still think it's better than Kanye's. And then Power itself isn't much better with, I mean, raps like this is just, what are we doing, guys? And then on Life of Pablo, Farther Stretch My Hands is probably the most famous song, and the beat is amazing. He goes on about bleached assholes or something, and it's just so lackluster and, if anything, only brings the song down. Famous has a similar issue. It's not as bad, but it does bring down Rihanna's vocal performance and the beat, and if you just threw a different rapper on there with Rihanna, it would be a much better song. No More Parties in LA is another example. It's not awful, but the feature washes him. The argument could be made that Kanye's raps only look bad because it's compared next to a phenomenal feature from Kendrick Lamar, but then again, maybe his raps just are poor. It's hard to tell. There's a few common themes here that I want to address. The most obvious being, on average, a featured artist on a Kanye song washes him out of the park. It's normally not even close. Every now and then there might be a pretty on par rapper with Kanye as a feature, but being Kanye and having the connections he has, he's gonna have some of the best rappers on the planet, which is great, but also makes Kanye look even worse as far as quality of raps go. Now, if you disagree, you've probably already either clicked off the video or you're at home yelling at your screen saying something like, what about College Dropout, or that's part of the Kanye experience. It's not supposed to be that good. Just listen to the music, man. I am listening to the music, and I'm telling you, Kanye can't rap. And to be honest with you, in both cases, I'd probably agree with you. But I think that's the thing that I'm trying to highlight, is that if the argument in defense of Kanye is, that's just how it's supposed to be, or don't look too far into it, then isn't that just saying, yes, Kanye's not a good rapper, but we don't care? Isn't it just agreeing? Like, in a way, we're almost on the same page of, yes, he can't rap, but we enjoy the music. I love Kanye, but he can't rap. I mean, I literally own 9 Kanye albums. If anybody's a Kanye hater, it's not me. It's probably you, because Spotify doesn't pay their artists. I mean, he's not a reliable rapper, and he probably shouldn't be considered in any top 50 list of rappers ever. Especially when you say of all time. If that's the argument of it has to be this specific period and anything before or after is just not good, then what's the point? If you say, oh, well, 2008 Kanye is the best Kanye that I've ever heard, and he's better than, 2021 Lil Wayne, like, sure, but what if that's how much we have to twist the argument, then it doesn't really prove the point. I do think Kanye is a bad rapper. However, for the sake of the video, and to showcase a true justice of my personal opinions on Kanye West, I would like to talk about the beauty of his music. Kanye is the most influential, as he loves to remind us. He's an amazing innovator, a leader in curation, and an overall great musician. I do think there's many instances where Kanye would probably be better as just the producer. I love his work on The Blueprint by Jay-Z and B by Common, you know, kind of before his rap career really took off. He's able to change the way that rap production has been thought about for the last 20 years. Not just with his sample work and his 808s use, and things like working with T-Pain to normalize auto-tune, and whatever the hell Yeezus is. Funny story actually, I used to think Yeezus was his worst album. This was before I really got into music and the idea of what is good and what is bad and what makes something good, and really listening to the music and feeling the emotions that they're supposed to deliver. I didn't like Yeezus. I thought it was short, obviously, because it's 40 minutes long. Now I love the fact that it is so concise and there's no filler songs. I used to really not like certain ways of sampling that he used, or the chopped up bits in between Bound 2, but I've kind of grown to love Yeezus. It's one of my favorites. I mean, the insane balls it would have taken to release something like Yeezus as early as 2013 that then paved the way for so many other artists to go, oh my God, this is a sound that we can make. We couldn't do this before Yeezus. We didn't know how to do this. We didn't know what this sound. We didn't know this was a sound that was acceptable, and we didn't know it could sound this good. 808s and Heartbreak is my favorite Kanye album, personally. And I mean, I could talk about 808s forever, but Pinocchio Story, the closing track, is probably his best song to me, or my favorite song at least. I think that it's another song that makes me cry, just for the real raw emotion and the live performance delivery of the song. Apparently it was supposed to be a real song, and then Beyonce said no, just use this recording, because the recording gives it an extra layer of emotion. And the fact that he's saying, I just want to be a real person and not this guy people just think is a funny bloke on TV. And the whole time in the background of the song is all these people screaming, I love you, Kanye, I love you, Kanye. Like, he's sitting there saying, sometimes being famous sucks, and all you're doing is feeding into that fame in the audience on the song. It's a phenomenal track. I think it's a perfect song. I love it. I mean, even on his more recent albums, which are often hated on, his production is still first class. Like, people kind of overlook how good the beats still are. His rapping's got considerably worse, especially over Vultures and Bully. Like, that's without a doubt. But the beats are good. And, you know, I think that the Vultures series, if you just took Kanye's beats, some features, and Ty Dolla $ign's vocals, like, you would have a pretty good album. And then Kanye jumps on and yells some crazy shit. It's like, what are we doing? Apart from Kanye's rapping, the songs and the albums that he's released aren't even that bad. I wish there was a world where these beats would get better treatment from genuinely talented rappers or artists who could do the beats a bit more justice. It would probably favor Kanye in the sense of quality of music. I think people wouldn't be saying, oh my God, Kanye's albums are so bad, if Kanye wasn't rapping on them. But like everyone likes to remind me, that's the beauty of Kanye. You can separate the art from the artist, but you can't separate the art from the fact that it has come from an artist who has experienced and felt emotions that have driven them to create this music. Without this individual experience, you don't get the music. So as much as you might be able to separate the art from the artist's experiences are what has made the art, and so you kind of can't separate them fully. Like, even if you tried to go, I'm going to ignore what Kanye's saying politically, you can't ignore that his life and his experiences have fueled the art that you love. Kanye might be a below average rapper, but he's a brilliant artist whether you like it or not. Just before you go, I've made a playlist of what I believe to be Kanye's best songs and basically my personal favorites. You can find it in the description if you're curious. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you same time next week.